Okay, welcome back to another video of FOCO Web Design, teaching web design for free. I learned most of what I learned through the internet, so I love to give it back for free. And today is going to be a really fun video that goes into some basic plugins that you're going to want to have to get started with your WordPress website, and then also how to design the front end of the site and really beginning a lot of the fun parts of the design aspects of this whole thing. So, first things first, you have your classic editor, Elementor. If you're able to, Elementor Pro, Lightspeed, Schema, and XML sitemaps. These are good for SEO purposes. We'll also add Yoast and some possible Google Analytics code later when the time comes. But for now, these are really the only things you need to get started. It really helps reduce weight on the website. The less plugins you have, more plugins is not a good thing. You want to have less plugins. It just helps the website load quicker and have less communication gaps between software differences between these plugins. So there's just a less chance of things going wrong. You also have less security holes. So everything's nice. The less you can have, the better. So let's go. First things first, let's go to Pages real quick and just see what we have to start with. So we have our home page. We're going to set it to the home page. I don't remember if we already went over that in the last video, but just to show that again, hover over your website name, click on Visit Site, go to Customize, and then go to your home page settings, and then click on Static Page, and then click on Home for your home page and select that, or whichever home page or page you would like to select. If you don't see it there, you have to make it first. Sample page will be the only one there by default. Then once you're done, hit Publish and you'll be good. So let's set this basic template up where you have a home page with a nice big picture on the front here, nice header title, an H1 title, and then you have an About Us section with a picture to the right. Below that we could put services, but before we do any of that, let's do one CSS code to get rid of the bottom of this thing that says powered by the Astra WordPress theme. Because remember, Astra is the theme that we're using, so if you haven't installed that already, go ahead and install that. But to get rid of this, go ahead and click on Customize, and then click on Custom or Additional CSS on the bottom, and type this. Just do dot site footer with a little hyphen in between there, and then just do display none important. And that should get rid of it for you. We'll go into how to do more complicated CSS stuff later. I just wanted to get rid of that. So that's gone. Go ahead and press X. X out of the additional CSS. And now click on Edit with Elementor. Now on the top here you have a background image. So to do this, what I did was I clicked on plus here, added one section here, and then move this all the way to the top, move this section area, and then click in the center, 6 dots here in the center, click on Style, and then background type. You're going to want to click on this little paintbrush that says Classic, and click on the image for now. There's also different options with background types you can play around with. For example, the slideshow is pretty nice as well. We can go over both of those real quick. So the classic is you just add an image, and so I'll add this image, for example, and then go to Layout and go to Height and make the height minimum height and start to make that a bit bigger. Now go back to Style. Remember, we're still right in the middle here, clicking in the center of these 6 dots, working inside this section here. And now click on the Style tab again. Go to the Position, Center, Center, Attachment, Scroll, Repeat, No Repeat, Size, Cover. And now it'll scroll with scroll. If you change that from scroll to fixed, you can see as you scroll, it stays in the same position, which is also a very nice effect, but it changes the part of the picture that is shown dependent upon the other settings too. So just play around with those. Let's go ahead and add a title now. To do that, I clicked on these dots up here, Remember, this is a tutorial really on Elementor and WordPress, but Elementor is the best content, or the best page builder to go along with the best content management system, which is WordPress. So we got title. Go ahead and drag out your title header here, and then go into the Style tab and make this white. Text shadow. Click this. Now here's a quick tip for text shadow, save you a bunch of back and forth headaches and confusion. You're going to want to play around with shadow a lot. The more shadow is not better. When people first discover shadow, they love to shadow it up, but as you get more mature, you'll realize you don't want to have so much shadow. It just starts to look a bit tacky and almost markety, scammy. Not, you know, it just looks a little bit weird. So when you do this and you click on the shadow, it has a default setting which is too aggressive. Change this 10 to a 5, and then click on here and just move it down about half the distance. There's other ways to make this font stick out besides giving it a shadow. Let's click on it again, go to Style, Typography, make it 32, or make it 52, and say Welcome. Go back to the content section here. You can type whatever you want, so, you know, welcome to whatever the website name is, so we'll type YouTube website. Then center it with alignment. You can center it. Now, see how it's still kind of tough to read? Go ahead and click the center 3 dots here, or 6 dots here. Go to Style, scroll down to where it says Background Overlay, and then click the paintbrush here, and then click the color. Make it black. Click out. Go to opacity, and now if you were to make the opacity 1, it would make it completely black. So go ahead and just find the happy medium to where you can read the font, but you can also see the image. So we'll do something like this, and that will be fine. Now click on the title, go to Advanced, go to Motion Effects, and again, don't go crazy with these motion effects. You can set every element inside Elementor to have a motion effect, but it will slow down the loading time of the website, and they are good to be used in moderation. This is a good example of when to use it, and I'll show you a very nice animation to use. You can do fade in. You see how nice that is? Where you can do fade in, down. Also good. Fade in is less aggressive, and then do slow, which is also nice. Now go back to the dots up here, and I want to add a button, and I'll show you how to add a button here. So do button, type in button, drag and drop the button out, put it into the center by clicking center, and then type, you know, like one of your call to action buttons could be here. You can also do these double buttons, which is really cool. Just got to install a different plugin. There's lots of plugins to go along with Elementor that have a lot of other widgets with them. There's one I recommend. There's a couple I recommend. One of them has a double button and some other nice widgets that I think is pretty cool. We'll talk about that later, but for now we're going to do just one button, and we're going to type Contact Now. So that's always good, or Book Now, or Sign Up Now, or something. And then we'll type in for the link. This is where you would type the link, but we don't have that yet, so we're going to come back to it. We're going to go to the Style tab and change it from green, background type green, to white, and then change the text color here from default, which is white, and make it black. So now it'll show up. Border type, solid, width, 1, color, make it black, or whatever color you're choosing. You can do whatever colors you want to play around. Box color, doesn't matter as much in this situation, but I, you know, add a standard. I do what I just explained to you guys before with the shadowing. And now when you click on hover, you can do the opposite of that or whatever you want, but this gives you the ability to change the hover effect, the background color, the text color, the border color, everything on hover without any code. Elementor really helps there. So click on hover. Used to have to do all this with CSS. And then text color, go ahead and make this white. The background type is going to be black. The hover animation, make it grow when it hovers. It's just a suggestion, gives you an idea. Border color, make that, instead of black, we'll make it white. so it's the inverse. And then yeah, so when you hover over it, watch this. Pretty nice. Sign up now. Pretty good. Go ahead and press update when you're done. When the green bar goes across the top, you know you're finished. And we can delete my other one I created because we have a better one now. Welcome to the YouTube website. Now this section here I created like this. I'll show you. Again, click the plus add new section, but this time click on the 2 columns. But again, even if you're just to click on the 1 column and drag it up above it, watch this. Just hover over this column section, right click, and click on duplicate. Now you got a 2 column section. You can keep doing this as much as you want. Go ahead and delete this now. I'm going to show you one more thing. If you click in the top right here on these 3 dots and click on intersection, drag and drop that in here like this. Now you have a 2 column section that is like sitting within a single column section. So if you were to duplicate this title, right click, duplicate, drag the title down, you can stick the title right on top of this 2 column section, change the style tab, change it to black so you can see it, and we'll, example header 1. And then just to show you how you can put a header above 2 columns and have the entire thing governed inside of 1 section here. So the whole thing can have like a background image here. If you were to click on these dots and go to style and go to background type and add a background image just to show you, or go to gradient, show the gradient, the fact that this whole thing is governed within this. You can see this goes around here and it's nested within the layers of the columns, or it's nested above the columns here. So it's very useful and something I didn't get right away when I first started working with Elementor, and that helps a lot down the road because it gives you more power to be able to add as many columns in as you want on top of other columns, and then have all of that as the same background, as the same section. So it's nice. So let's go ahead and get rid of this, make that back to white, and then to make this is just a border that's sitting above. I'll show you. So let's first drag and drop a title, and then drag and drop a text editor, and then click on the section right here, the column, edit column right here, and then go to the style tab and go to border and go to box shadow. That pops it up off the page, but look, it's way too aggressive again, so make it 5, and then click here and make this half down. The border radius is what makes it curvy instead of a straight edge. Make that 15, nice curved edges. Now change this title to black and bring it down in size a little, perhaps. Or bring it up, doesn't really matter. Depends what it says, about us. And then yeah, change this to whatever color you want, type whatever you want in here for the about us section. What's cool is you can duplicate the button, bring this down, and just drop it in here like this. And I'm gonna add an image on the right hand side, drag that in there like that. Go ahead and delete what I did now, show you guys what I'm doing. And you see how this is all horribly positioned? Let's do a couple of things. So click here on the column, go to the Advanced tab, click on EM instead of pixels or percentages. We're using a measurement with EM. And now make sure that the values are linked together and add some padding around this. Go up about 2 or 3 times. You could even do 2.5, except you can't put a point in there. Silly enough, so you have to do it somewhere like here. Copy, delete, paste it in. 2.5 or 3 or 2, doesn't matter. Point is, it moved it away from the edge a little bit, and now you can click on this button and make it go back to the left, and then click on this column, or this column thing. Go to the layout and go to where it says widget space and make this say 0. And now you have control over this positioning a little bit better. By default, underneath paragraph text, there is CSS that puts a little bit of margin in here. That's why there's margin here. This isn't anything you can adjust in Elementor. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of this now inside CSS, using additional CSS. So to get rid of the margin or spacing below the paragraph class by default inside of WordPress, you have to use CSS, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So press update. And now I like to right click and hit duplicate so I can come back to the page I was working on. And then just delete everything past .com, push enter. And then once you're here, click on customize. And now go back to the additional CSS section, go below the other code we wrote and write P, enter. And then do, I think it's margin bottom 0. Yeah, important. You don't even need to write important, but go ahead and do that. And you can see how that choked up on the button all the way up. So there's no spacing or margin now. Now we're able to control everything. So go ahead and push publish. And now we can control it all inside Elementor, and it's not going to drive you nuts wondering why the bottom of the paragraph text has a space. That's what you do to fix it. Now press X and go to Elementor again, or just go back to the page you're working on and hit refresh. Close out of the other tabs. And now you can see, you can click on the paragraph text, go to the advanced, go to the EM, turn the links off, do top one, bottom one, adds a little bit of space, and then as you fill this out it'll look better. So for example, if you had more content here it would look a little bit better. Yep, see, there you go. To change it to 17. And then this you would change to read more, and then you can have it linked directly to the About Us page. You can drop an image in here and then make a border. You make this thing go into the middle, click on the column, and then so column, we're going to put this image in the middle of the column by clicking on the column, going to vertical align, clicking on middle, and that moved it down. Click on the image if you want, go to style, box shadow 1, border 1, make it white, turn the shadow down the way I showed you. Going kind of quick now because we're doing the same thing over and over. And just showing you how this works, and then make the border radius like 15 or something. And now you can change it from 50-50 split by putting your cursor in the middle here and just moving it over like this, or moving it back like this. So depending on the image size you have, it can look better or worse. And then also, clicking on the very top here in the 6 dots section header, go ahead and click here and go to make it a full width layout if you'd like to. Or you can change the width, go to full width and stretch section. Yep, so this stretches the section, and now you can click here and control the width of this here by making it boxed, but you can still bring it all the way out if you want now, see. So now I can make it almost the same height, and then by clicking here on this column, going to the Advanced tab and removing these linked values together, that will spread that out a bit, and then by doing the opposite over here, the linked values, we can try to make these just about the same height on desktop. And remember, when you change it to, so if you go to responsive mode and then click on tablet, it's going to change it, and you have the option now at this point to click on the column and to make it layout. Click on the layout, go to the column, and then click 100% if you want, and you can make this one 100% and choose if you want it to break down differently on certain pages. Now see how that's too big, but you do want it to be 100%. So how do I make this picture smaller but have it still be 100% width? Well, you set it to 100%, click on the picture, go to the style, change the width pixels or percentage down a little bit, and you can control it that way. Now go to the cell phone. Kind of weird. Make it back to 100% on the cell phone. Much better. Click here on the column, get rid of this extra space here. Go to Advanced. Remove, remove. Oh, that looks bad. Click on Link Values Together, and then pump it up to like 1 or 2. Probably 1, maybe 1.5. Change this though to make it smaller. That's way too big for a cell phone. Click on it, go to Style, this, Typography, make it 32. And now same thing with this top one here. Click on it, Style, Typography, maybe 40. And now click on the very top section here and go to minimum height and change it a little bit for the cell phone so it's not so tall. If you want to make these words a little bit spaced out, see how they're kind of close together, go ahead and click on them, go to Style, Typography, and then down here where it says line height, type in 1.2. If you want to go more than that, go for it. But that spread it out a little bit, and then you can push update, and now it looks nice on a cell phone. And then tablet is looking okay. You could probably make this a bit smaller if you wanted, make this a bit smaller if you wanted, and then desktop looking okay. So we have our first section of our home page with our header section and our about section. We're going to add the services sections, and we're also going to add the header and footer to this website and a whole bunch of other stuff. So stick around, and I will probably just make a playlist and have it continue from here, and we'll just keep going. So, okay, thank you. Subscribe, like if this helped you at all, and let me know what other types of content you guys would like to see. If there's anything I can help you with, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to answer any and all questions, because once again, this is free content for web design, giving back to the internet what it gave to me, and I thank you very much, internet. Okay, goodbye.